today I'm going to be reading for 24 hours. Yay! But it's gonna be a bit different because if you saw my last videos, you know I just recently fell in love with audiobooks. So I'm going downtown because I have a class project where I have to view a museum, and I'm like, this is a perfect time to put in an audiobook and enjoy two forms of art at the same time. The audiobook I'm reading is gonna be Dracula because I saw on Instagram, like, spoiler alert, well, it's a spoiler for me too, but they were like, Dracula went to hell, he betrayed his son, and he's still the good guy. They were like, Dracula is, I don't even know, but people were writing for him. And if somebody can go straight to hell and people can still say he's not the bad guy, I want to know what happened. So Dracula is going to be the first book I read. And then I have Ali Hazelwood's Bride. I've been wanting to read it. I didn't get a chance to. So that's another book we're going to read. That one's not an audiobook. I want to get some comic books. I don't have any with me. So since I'm going downtown, I'm going to pop into a secondhand bookstore, BMV. And I'm looking specifically for The Punisher and Watchmen series, like those books, because I really enjoyed reading them in high school. And I'm like, I want to get back into reading for like fun and reading other different types of media. So that's our plan. Okay, so it is currently 11:30. Let's start reading or listening. Okay, so I just left the gallery. I didn't understand any of the art, which is kind of a problem because I have to write a paper on that, but doesn't matter. I had to pause like the audiobook because I was so confused that I literally had to stop, read every side, and start taking notes, because if not, that paper is screwed. But so far, I've read up to chapter 6 of the audiobook. Is Dracula actually evil? Like, he hasn't done anything like super duper villainous yet, but he's done some real shady stuff. He's done some really questionable stuff, and I'm like, yo, my guy, are you evil? Like, because I thought he was like misunderstood. I thought he was like the original Edward, you know, like brooding, misunderstood, hot guy. But he seems like villainous, crazy, captive holder. So I was like, I don't know, we will see. The thing is, like, in the Instagram comments, people were saying that he's like the bomb diggity. So whatever it is, I feel like it's gonna be like a plot twist. Like, I'm gonna read it and be like, oh, I did not see that coming. So I think it's safe to say that I'm enjoying the book, because I really am. I'm always shocked. I'm like, what is happening? I didn't expect it to be in letter formats. And at first it was, I can't remember the name of the guy that was first writing his journal. Jordan something? Jordan, I don't remember. But then we switched to the perspective of these two women, and they're not in Transylvania, they're in England. So I'm like, why are you guys talking? You're disturbing me. Go back to the guy that's scared that Dracula's gonna eat him. But I don't know, I'm enjoying the book so far. Okay, I'm heading to the BMV. I see my bus, I see myself missing it. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so I did buy some things from BMV. I'll show you guys that later, but first let's talk about my journey with Dracula, because I've been reading that since 11:30 and it's currently 8, give or take a minute. I'm in chapter 20 of 27, and like I've been enjoying listening to it because I've been listening to it all day. But what's shocking me is that Dracula is not a scary book. There's like almost no gore. I'm enjoying it, but what if I were to explain to you why I'm enjoying it? I'm not sure I could. Because does it make sense to just say like I like the narration style and I like the characters? There's no horror, there's nothing that scares you, there's nothing that makes you like tense or uncomfortable. It's just like a bunch of people's journals. So there's no like action, right? So I was watching it. Oh, also, Dracula barely shows up in this book, bro. He's in like the first, maybe the first 5 chapters, and then he's just lurking around. But he's not even lurking around like plotting to do bad to anyone. He's just lurking around for the sake of lurking around. So I'm like, huh? Like, how did this man become like the definition of evil? Because he's not in this book at all. Like, I was listening to the book all day, and I'm like, yo, I have not been scared once. What the hell, Dracula? Like, do some, eat some people, you know? Also, like, the way he eats people is not in like a scary, like, I'll fall on you, like, and eat you kind of way. It's like, he keeps them like they're like a Starbucks drink. Like, he just drinks from them over a long span of time. Okay, so after 8.5 hours of reading Dracula, I'm gonna pause it because I do want to read more than one book today specifically. And I'm gonna show you what I got at the BMB. Comic books! Oh, you can't see this one. Yeah, comic books. I've been wanting to broaden my style of reading because normally I mostly read like book talk romances, like those book talk books, and because they tend to have the same like plots a lot of the time, I go into a reading slump. So I wanted to diversify, and that's what we're doing with the comic books. But I was strategic about like the comic books I chose. I wanted to pick ones that like I know I have a history of liking. So I picked Punisher because when I was in, I think, high school, I read like one Punisher novel, and it was the most graphic, messed up book I've ever read. It was like, I still think about it sometimes because I swear the Punisher like put a rat on a person and let the rat eat through the person. The person was a bad guy, but yeah, the Punisher does some really bad things. And then this one, Monstrous, I wanted 2 comic books. I went to the BMV because it's a secondhand bookstore, but some of the comics books were like $24, and your girl's a bit too broke for that. So I picked one of the cheaper comic books that I thought I would like, just because the cover looks cool. Like, I like the art style. I know nothing about the plot. I know nothing to expect, but it was pretty, and it was about a girl, which I'm like, most good books have girls in them. I'm gonna start with the Punisher just because like I'm super excited because like he was my guy. He was my dogs when I was younger, and I was like, let's bring him back. It's around 1 a.m. I just finished Monstrous. I took a break from reading this book to walk home from school. And while I was walking home from school, I was listening to Dracula. And then when I got home, my room was messy. So I like was cleaning my room and listening to Dracula. I think all of that took me, let's say, about an hour and stuff. So that's why it took me so long to finish Monstrous. But that being said, I think it took me at least 3 hours to finish this, which I was surprised by, because like It's a comic book, but there's a lot of reading in it. Oh wait, I forgot. I finished The Punisher. This one was kind of a disappointment just because like I remember The Punisher being like more brutal, more violent. I don't know, it was like the devil punishing worser devils. But for this one, it just like he didn't do any like really innovative torture. He just shot people, broke their legs, and was very in his mood. He was very like in his feelings, and I was like, you know what? This is not giving the energy I wanted. So I finished Monstrous, right? I read it and it was fine, but it didn't really like grab my attention. It didn't really make me be like, oh, I have to figure out where the story goes. I really don't see myself pursuing the rest of the series. Like I said, I went back to listening to Dracula. So I'm now in chapter 23. My goal is to finish this. I only have like an hour 43 minutes left. The end. Okay, so I fell asleep. But the thing is, I don't even know when I fell asleep. It was around 3 a.m., right? I was listening to the last like 2 chapters, right? And next thing I know, I wake up and it's 5 a.m. and there's no sound. I'm like, boom, what happened? You know how bad it is? Like, I'm still chewing the gum I was chewing before I fell asleep because I didn't know I fell asleep. So basically, yeah, I read it. I finished. I woke up to have finished Dracula, but I couldn't remember the last chapter, so I replayed that part. So it's 6 a.m. now, and Dracula's done. I liked the book. Like, it was really fun to listen to. I don't think I would have enjoyed it if I was reading it like as a book, just because this is not a very plot heavy book. Like, nothing scary is happening throughout the story at all. But because I was listening to it at like 1.7 times speed, I could enjoy like how dramatic the characters were being. And the things like, so Jonathan Hacker, he goes to Dracula's castle, but they don't tell us what Dracula does to him in the castle. They just tell us that it's like horrible and horrific, and like they're all scared and they're like vampires are evil. But you don't see anything. We're gonna talk about the next book we're reading. Ali Hazelwood's Bride. I want like a 5-star read. Like I've been enjoying this little 24-hour challenge, but I want like a 5-star read. I want a book that I leave being like, that's my new favorite book. And I hope Ali does that for me, you know? Like, I hope my homegirl does that for me. It is 11:32. I have officially finished reading for 24 hours. The hardest part was between like 5 and 9 a.m. where my eyes were literally falling shut. I'd be reading and then I'd be like, oh wait, my eyes have closed. But let's talk about Bride because I love Ali Hazelwood. Like, she's my girl. I'm 49% into the book. It's so good. Like, it's so funny. Misery, she accuses Lowy. I'm gonna go with Lo. She accuses Lo of doing something, and he's like, why do you think I did that? Like, he's just so confused and amused by it. And I'm like, I was crashing out laughing. I was like, this is pure comedy. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Hello, this is editor Annie from the future. Unfortunately, I just didn't like Bride as much as I thought I would. Like, I was enjoying it, and then they got to the romance part, and then they started talking about like the anatomy of a werewolf, and then they started talking about like knots and a lot of things that made me just so confused and quite frankly uncomfortable. And I was just like, So I was like, when she would talk about that, I would just be skipping the pages. So the romance for me was just like, could you stop doing that? It was giving Beauty and the bestiality of like, if he's an actual wolf, right? Can he date non-werewolves? Can he just date like a wolf that doesn't change into a human being? Because I don't know. I was like, I don't know. It just made me uncomfortable. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.